Hello, everyone. Welcome to Google. My name is Emily Cashman Kirstein, and I lead child safety public policy here at Google. And it is wonderful to have so many friends, old and new, here today as we gather for INHOPE's annual summit. As I'm sure you've all seen from the agenda, the INHOPE team has put together an incredible series of really timely sessions. So please join me in the first of many round of applause for the incredible work that the INHOPE team does all year round, but especially in putting this summit together. So collaborating with partners like INHOPE is core to how we address online child safety at Google. Many of you have heard me say a few times that we're very aware that we cannot and should not go it alone. We really believe that. We prioritize engagements like this to make sure we're working with the latest information from experts, such as the folks in this room, and also to ensure that you see a trusted partner in us. On that note, we did have a number of Googlers. I think they are mostly downstairs bringing people up still, but do we have Tom? I think Tom's in the room. Hi, Tom. We have some other Googlers here. Please reach out to us at any point during the day for questions, including where the bathrooms are. They're out here to the right. Anything like that. So Tom is part of our cross-functional online child safety team. There's a number of us, so many, and they have been very busy over the past year. Among many other things, they've partnered with the UK Royal College of Pediatrics and Child Health to finalize a comprehensive review of its pubertal status guidelines to ensure that there are updated clinical and evidence-based standards, not only in our CSAM review processes, but across industry to help set age determination guidelines. We'll be adding these to our child safety toolkit by the end of this year. As many of you know, the toolkit already offers eligible partners both a machine learning classifier and video hashing capabilities free of charge to help streamline CSAEQs. But on top of that, we're now able to offer resources for the manual process that comes next. While this toolkit has primarily been used by fellow industry members, we've recently made changes that allow potential use by law enforcement agencies. We've started a limited pilot program with Costa Rica's OIJ to see if it's helpful in streamlining high-volume CSAE caseloads. We're seeing promising results, and I'm sure there's a lot of folks in the audience who will want to make sure we keep in touch with as that work progresses. And we remain hyper vigilant about CSAM policies and protections we've built into our generative AI products and services, but we're also leveraging generative AI internally to supercharge the protections themselves. As an example, our teams have found ways to utilize Gemini to supplement our classifiers, increasing their precision and leading to significant efficiencies in manual reviews and an increase in CSAM detection overall. Very happy to chat further about any of this during the breaks that Abby mentioned. But now I have the distinct pleasure of introducing someone that most of us know very well already. In her 12 plus years at INHOPE, she's led global partnerships and development and has already had such a huge impact on online child safety worldwide. Now, for the first time as INHOPE's executive director, I am thrilled to introduce my friend, Samantha Woolfe.
Thank you, Emily. It's a lot to live up to. Thank you very much for the warm welcome. So welcome to our 8th summit. It's wonderful to see so many familiar faces, and also really quite good to see a number of faces that I don't know. For those of you that don't know me, although I've just been introduced, my name is Samantha Woolfe, and I'm currently just the executive director of INHOPE, the very proud executive director of INHOPE. It's lovely to be congratulated on this, my next chapter, but this role and this mission is greater than me, and it's greater than you. We're all part of something far larger, a committed alliance bound by one shared refusal to accept refuse to accept the sexual abuse and exploitation of children as an inevitable cost of connectivity. The summit's always the highlight of our year, but for me personally, this one feels different. The world feels different. I see incredible opportunity in the challenges and in the collective will of everyone gathered here and online to meet those challenges head on. You and I know what's at stake if we don't. Data tells the story of our impact better than words can. The average takedown or removal time for child sexual abuse or exploitation material in a country with an INHOPE hotline is 1.4 days. Outside the network, the average is 40 days, or sometimes never. I use this contrast to tell a powerful story. It shows what happens when coordination, trust, and shared standards exist. It shows that impact comes from infrastructure. The INHOPE network, now 26 years old, is an example of this. Each of the INHOPE hotlines operates within its national context, as you know, its different laws and languages, but the existence of the INHOPE network allows these hotlines to rely on one another through shared knowledge, classification methods, capacity building, and peer support. Those shared standards, our common processes, and the commitment of our members are what make the INHOPE model, the INHOPE network, stand the test of time. You'll hear more about our standards and classification methods, the universal classification schema, and hotline-led initiatives over these 2 coming days, from public education campaigns in Latin America to cross-sector training in Europe and projects in Asia. All of them demonstrating how national action connects to global impact and creates global impact. We use the summit to, of course, put INHOPE on the podium, but also to share information about all of those other initiatives that many of you are so involved in and that Emily talked about already, that will advance the work that we are all doing to protect children. Today, we represent a truly global network, 57 hotlines in 53 countries, operating across 6 continents. The hotlines processed 2.5 public reports last year. To clarify, that's reports received from the public of suspected child sexual abuse or exploitation material. We trained 221 analysts in 2024, and they are the heroes. Some of them are in this room with us today. They are the unseen backbone of this work, protecting children from further harm and survivors. The analysts collaborate daily with other heroes too, and that's you. Many of you are in this room today. Our steady law enforcement colleagues too, our consistent tech company collaborators, government, regulator, and civil society partners. All these moving parts that work together to protect more children online, to remove children from risk, to ensure that when illegal material is identified, it's removed as swiftly as possible, and where the images are new, to together ensure that they get to the right local enforcement agency, law enforcement agency, for investigation and saving a child. I talked about INHOPE representing a truly global network, but the truth is that all of us together represent a global network pushing in the same direction with the same goal every day. Last night at the opening reception of the summit, and thank you, TikTok, Alicia and Robert, INHOPE's president, touched on the positive outcomes of the fusion of all sectors coming together to fight this crime type. This is particularly important because, as we'll focus on over this coming 2 days, this crime type does not exist in isolation, proving that collaboration has to become the norm across the board to protect everyone online. We have to work together, yes, but we also have to share, exchange, very operationally, very practically, to better leverage lessons learned already and the technologies that we're all using for one crime type to be used for another. The next phase of INHOPE's journey is about creating that global alignment so that no matter where a report originates, it's handled swiftly, safely, and with care. And this brings me to this year's theme, Connected Crime, Collective Action. The theme recognizes what many of us already see, that no form of online harm exists in isolation. Child sexual abuse and exploitation material now sit at the intersection of so many types of crime, of financial fraud, image-based abuse, online extortion, trafficking, cyber-enabled violence, and many more. We'll hear a lot about this on our first panel this morning as we kick off today, and then over the coming 2 days. When we take down CSAM, we're not just protecting children, we're disrupting the wider criminal ecosystem that feeds on exploitation, trafficking, sexual extortion, manipulation, and profit. We so rarely join the dots between all of these different types of online crime and also of domestic abuse, of misogyny, radicalization, and online harms that actually all grow from the same roots, like child sexual abuse material and non-consensual image-based abuse. We must fight these together to succeed. The patterns are unmistakable: control, entitlement, and dehumanization expressed in different forms. We can't keep responding to these separately. They're not separate problems. They're so often part of the same story. The removal of this content matters deeply, which is why INHOPE exists. Young people are, of course, more and more influenced by the content they see online. I don't need to tell the people in the room or the people online this. Swift removal not only protects victims from re-victimization, but also reduces the circulation of material used for sexual extortion, blackmail, and grooming. It breaks the chain. Every image removed is one less piece of currency in the hand of offenders. We also need to address the scale of this challenge. At least 87 countries are known to host or produce this type of content, a number that continues to rise each year as internet access and infrastructure expands and hosting infrastructure improves globally. To tackle this, over the past 24 months, INHOPE has invested heavily in the next generation of our technology. ICAM 3.0, CPORT, and the Universal Classification Schema that I already mentioned. We haven't done any of this alone. ICAM is the platform the INHOPE network and Interpol use to remove content and ensure that new images and videos are removed effectively. CPORT is the first true collaboration between national hotlines and their law enforcement for investigations to get underway more swiftly and potentially identify victims and remove them from harm with less impediments. And these aren't just technical upgrades, they're enablers of harmonization, which is what will change the game. They make it possible for hotlines, law enforcement, and industry to speak the same digital language, classify the same material in a consistent way to act faster together so that everyone in this room can do this work more successfully. The schema is a glimpse of the future, harmonized regulation, but almost also harmonized technology. Because the future of child protection online lies in the harmonization of laws, the harmonization of technology, the harmonization of language. These are all areas where we as a movement have stumbled, but we are learning. And as I said earlier, when coordination, trust, and shared standards exist, we can protect more children, more people, and have a safer and more secure internet. While the European directive obliges every EU member state to have a hotline, no such requirement exists elsewhere. That harmonization would also be game-changing and is something we must continue to advocate for the reasons that I've stated. Where there's no hotline, there's no clear national mechanism to report and no guarantee that a victim's material will ever come down or that new images will be removed. And beyond the moral imperative, there's a very practical one. Every piece of content removed through a hotline saves police time and resources, allowing them to focus on identifying and rescuing victims. The threats are growing faster than our solutions. This is one of the reasons it's so important that we have Nuria Professor Lorenzo Dos, as our keynote this morning, talking about how to prevent grooming using data, understanding better beyond the image. AI is part of this conversation too, of course, accelerating both detection but also abuse. Encrypted environments are reshaping the investigative landscape, and the boundary between online and offline harm has dissolved entirely. And this is why connected crime, collective action isn't just a theme, it's a call to action. And today we'll deepen our understanding of how child sexual exploitation and abuse intersects with other online crimes and explore what that connected crime really means in practice. And then tomorrow, we'll turn that insight into action, identifying where partnerships must strengthen regulation, where regulation must evolve, and where technology must scale more responsibly. Before I wrap up and we begin, I want to express my deep gratitude to the people who've made the summit possible and continue to make it possible every year. Thank you especially to our summit sponsors, Tether, TikTok, Snap, Revolver, and the Public Interest Registry for your continued commitment and support. Thank you to all INHOPE's partners and donors. You know that your support creates and maintains INHOPE's critical action and infrastructure daily, and we couldn't do this without you. Thank you, all of you, for being part of the committed alliance I talked about at the start. Your presence and your daily work signals dedication. Anastasia, is she in the room? She just left. INHOPE's brilliant communications manager, who's been in touch with all of you. She's managed all the logistics, the technical coordination, and the thousands of unseen details that keep everything running so very well. And also our team, thank you, Anastasia, and also our team back at the ranch, who also, of course, ensure that INHOPE is the powerhouse that it continues to be. And all this with immense support from Emily and all the Googlers. Emily jumping into this after her maternity leave, and her fantastic, always reactive team from Google, some of whom are in the room. Sarah G and Sarah S, Jashawn, Brandon and Pat, and our catering colleagues who will keep you well and fed, Phoebe, Marcy, and Madeline. And all the Googlers here assisting in all the other ways that I might not have mentioned. This summit isn't about talking, it's about creating, making, doing, and networking. We all know that that's where the magic happens. So in short, the challenges ahead are connected, which is why we're here today. But of course, we are too. And that's our greatest strength, this human connection. So let's use the next 2 days to challenge each other, to think boldly, and to act together. I wish you a very good summit. Thank you.